blame, you let it.
I've been getting on my BNB and stacking these. Married it with EMP and then I'm middle P. How to get myself a bag before the bull run. How to take some Misha, stick it in the ballroom. I've been getting on my BNB and stacking these. Married it with EMP and then I'm middle P. How to get myself a bag before the bull run. How to take some Misha, stick it in the ballroom. Eat pop got me waiting 3 more hours. Sticking all these years higher than a tower. Having all these loans feel like superpowers. Investing all this bread, never been a coward. Call me Mr. Bond, money in the vault. I stay in the front, feeling like the goal. Don't worry about the haters, got the detonator. I'll kill in every market, call me Terminator. I've been getting on my BNB and stacking these. Pairing it with EMP and then I'm metal P. How to get myself a bag before the bull run. Some Misha, stick it in the ballroom. I've been getting on my BNB and stacking these. Married it with EMP and then I'm middle P. How to get myself a bag before the bull run. How to take some Misha, stick it in the ballroom.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to EMP.Money. My name is AJ, I am the team lead here, and this is our daily live AMA and giveaway events. I'm joined by the other 2 team members that are here with me every day, Bull and LA. How are you guys today?
Oh, yeah, us guys and girls are just fine. Hey, LA.
Awesome. Yes, LA. I think we heard LA in there, right? Are you there, LA?
We did.
All right, good deal.
Yeah, doing good.
All right, awesome, good deal.
I have some news. All right,
you're gonna start it off with a bang. Go ahead, Bull.
I was watching the live stream here, and I always get ads. There's always those goddamn long ads right before while the DeFi proof is on. However, I got the Wix like website builder. And you have some mustache competition, bro. Like, I don't know why that ad came up, but he had that really tailored mustache, so watch out.
All right, good to know. I have to find that ad now. You mentioned that. All right, well, there must be...
I keep getting ads for shaving your head for some reason. They're really not on point for me.
Yeah, it sounds like the YouTube analytics need a little adjustment on their target market. But oh, that's funny. Well, again, hopefully that's a sign that the bottom is in when crypto channels are getting ads that are completely irrelevant.
Oh, you must have missed that post I made in VIP. Huh?
Oh, maybe. What was it, Bull? I think we're on the same page, but yeah, go ahead.
My wife, one of the first things, well, she greeted the cat and then she greeted me. But she said, what's the news with this crypto crash, this crypto market crash, and this SPF 13 guy? What's going on with all that? So I think the bottom might be in. When my wife is asking me about the crypto market crash, it could be in. She's usually, she's got that opposite of the end of the spectrum. Like your grandma is the top end. Like,
yep, totally.
Oh, AJ, tell me about Bitcoin, you lovely grandson. My wife, she came home with a sense of urgency, to greet the cat and say, hey, what's up with this crypto market crash and SPF 13? And I know. I knew what she was referring to, but it was just funny to hear her say SPF 13. So I don't know where she got all that stuff, the SPF 13, but me and Vino were playing a little bit of wordplay with that. And so, we had a good time in VIP, so it pays to be in VIP.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, at least you're not getting sunburned, right?
I was going to say, it sounds like
yeah, exactly. I love it. Yes, and that was a great impression of my grandma, Bull. I guess you guys have been talking. You sounded just like her. But so yeah, again, we always try
Send
to
me that Bitcoin, AJ.
yeah, we always try to lighten the mood here at EMP, especially when the overall crypto market is an absolute dumpster fire. Again, I know there's been talk that some of the funds for FTX from a supposed hacker, a lot of that was Ethereum and has been being dumped for Bitcoin, and so we've seen a lot of sell pressure on ETH, and it's not looking good. I mean, we could see under $1,000 ETH. However, all that being said, we still are in an amazing position, especially here in the protocol. Again, I mean, I think that we've proven that we are a white knight in the DeFi space. The gains are still happening. They may not be 1%, 2%, 3% daily, but everybody is still getting paid day after day after day with your holdings. So I mean, Bull, I don't know if you want to elaborate on that a little bit. I'm having some technical difficulties here. The cat is on my computer. So go ahead, Bull.
Oh yeah, kitty alert. So yeah, I'm kind of hepped up right now. Like I'm all jazzed up. But the great thing about that, where you just said we're still earning, I'm always like we should have that on perma scrolling through the chat. What you pointed out, that Stinky Beans pointed out the other day, LA, that we are number one, baby, in exposure to gains on ETH on the BNB chain. And, like if we went boop, 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 all over on all these EVM compatible chains, I bet we would be number one over there, like in a heartbeat. So with the bottom is in, Pulse chain gets rocking and rolling, we'll get that impulse, get the drive to get over there, and then get freaky over there with gains. But personally, everybody knows like I'm a permabull. Maybe I'm crazy. But I always look at everything with like kind of that up into the right attitude. There's always a silver lining. Shit in your life could get way worse, I promise you. Not that you want it to, but we have to make like what our life is going to be. And I look at that and say, like, look at how amazing we're doing, in light of like just the market, like it's chaotic. It's, really crazy. And, it's unfortunate, but we have the saving grace here. We have an incredibly, diamond-handed community. Peg's going down a little bit, but that is to be expected. We still have a ton of liquidity. Where like I I often wonder if any of the other DeFi protocol like teams are like just dreaming at night and then wake up in cold sweats. And they're like, liquidity, EMP, and they're like, like envious, like when they wake up, right? Because I know dang well like that other people are looking at it and saying, WTF, like how do we get that? Well, we can give that to you, right? Like, we got DOS, we can help you protect your ecosystem. It's not a saving grace overnight type of fix. You get it, and like you have to work to get like your community to love and support your ecosystem like we have. And there's a lot that goes into we've talked about this a lot, like in team chats, about how where something might not work on another protocol, it might work in a different protocol because the conditions are completely different. And that's why like DeFi is like just an amazing sandbox, or, it's a box full of like financial Legos where you can move them around and figure out like what you want to build. You might create something that looks terrible, but it might work like amazing. And it might be fun too. And ultimately everything should be fun. Everything that you're building should be fun. It should be a labor of love, because when you put like heart and soul into something, like it shows, and people know that you're not full of shit. Like you're just there to, hey, this is the greatest thing ever, and we're going to give you 3% a day for the rest of your life and come over and give you back rubs. Like that's much bullshit. Like, you like people can see through bullshit. And there's too much bullshit like in crypto, and there's too much bullshit in DeFi. And so if you want a real protocol, you want real people, well, you're listening to us right now. It's not any shade on other people, but if you think I'm talking about you, well, then maybe I might be. But ultimately, what I say shouldn't matter to you if you think you're a bullshitter. But if it hits home, then maybe you're probably a bullshitter. So.
Totally. Well, and before I forget, make sure everybody compounds. Bull, that's usually your cue, but I'll interject today. So we have about 2 minutes left. Well, 1 minute left on Detonator. Make sure you're compounding again, and we'll talk a little bit about Detonator as well. But yeah, Bull said everything perfect. I mean, again, we can control what we can control, and we can't control what we can't control. And so, through the power of Detonator, not only for our own protocol, but for the protocols that we partnered with, that is a major safety net for market conditions like we are seeing right now. The larger the liquidity, the healthier the protocol can maintain during major, major downturns. And what we've seen. And I mean, I would go out on a limb and say, if we hadn't had Detonator, we may not be here. I mean, again, that is the reality of the situation. But everything that we have done and will continue to do in EMP is to make the protocol sustainable and to be one of the very few remaining DeFi protocols, especially after what we've seen. And that really was the topic today. I can count on one hand the amount of DeFi protocols that are even still around, and number two, that are a protocol that you can kind of go to sleep at night and have to worry about it being there in the morning. Yes, could Peg go down further? Absolutely. Is eShare getting murdered? Absolutely. I mean, again, we've done everything we can to support it, but even with that, even with the depressed price of EMP, the depressed Peg, the depressed price on eShare, everybody in the ecosystem is still earning daily. And, once the market does recover, those APRs will go up again, and that the protocol will be able to sustain higher payouts because it's healthy for the protocol at that point. So, and one thing too about Detonator, which I was gonna mention a little bit later, but before I forget, um, I know everybody is concerned about daily burst going down. It's a constant, thing that we have to address. And yeah, I mean, obviously, without the volume being upheld, the daily burst will go down and the pool balance will go down. But that being said, the way Detonator and all the Detonator as a services are designed, there is only 3% of the overall pool balance that's distributed every day. So even if people continue to claim, which all they're doing is hurting themselves in that, especially now with the price being so low, but there comes a point where the amount to be claimed through daily burst every day is lower and lower. So as the pool balance goes down, it's a self-protecting feature that allows the percentage of what's being paid out to go down as well. And so eventually we'll hit a plateau where, the selling pressure does really start to subside because, again, based on the 3% pool balance being distributed every day and rail taxes. I mean, rail taxes will start, as the pool balance goes down, rail taxes affect more and more holders, which will dilute, again, the amount of claiming that can even happen. So, and that's really bullish for the minnows. I know a lot of people say, well, I'm a minnow and I got a Detonator and it's not even worth it to compound or claim. Well, as the pool balance goes down and a lot of the whales are affected by the whale tax more and more, that allows the minnows to not be affected by the whale tax and make up some ground on the whales as long as they're compounding. And again, all of this boils down to the strategies that we say over and over and over again. As long as you're compounding more than you're claiming, you are going to do much better in Detonator and Detonator style contracts than those of you that just continue to claim and claim and claim. So, Bull, does that make sense? We never really talked about the math like that, but hopefully I explained it well.
Yep, sorry, I had too many tabs open trying to get to that unmute. Yeah,
No,
yeah. It makes perfect sense, right? Like, um, if you look at something, like let's just say you know, there wasn't a lock feature on the contract. If somebody won like that detonator pool balance the first day, I mean, like, how many people are gonna, like, in the in the state lotteries, there's the annuity option and then the cash option. Do you know how often the annuity option is picked? Never. um, because people want it like right, that they want everything right now. And the great thing about the detonator is that it accounts for that, and that's why you're rewarded for locking up those funds so that it's protected, so the ecosystem has confidence, so people have confidence in pairing ETH with EMP and growing liquidity. And it's a really super like important concept to really understand, because you mentioned it earlier, AJ, that if we didn't have detonator, EMP might not be around. And I can only use the example of when detonator wasn't here and we had all the FUD. And peg, I think, was at like zero 0.5, and eShare was swinging around like wildly, like literally from one day it would be 300, the next day it would be 1200. And then the next day it would be 412. Like it was bouncing all over like crazy. And when detonator came in to the ecosystem, and hopefully my volume's fine. I know that I sometimes when I turn my computer off, it resets to like volume 100, so I don't know why it does that. But I digress. And in looking at like the detonator and like the features to build and protect liquidity, and protect people from greed. Because I know like everybody's gonna say like Gordon Gecko, greed is good, blah 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 blah. But it's not. Like, because if that was the metric of being good, then a scammer would be good. And nobody here is running around saying, "Oh my God, scammers are so good and great." Like, oh, la la la, I love them, and let's open up our wallets to scammers, because greed is good. That's stupid. And so, um, protecting the contract so that it grows and people have confidence. And looking back when we didn't have detonator, like I said, eShare was swinging around wildly. Peg was, like I said, 0.5 or some shit. Like, I don't remember. And half of DeFi was like, oh yep, this project's dead. The other half was like, I don't know, well, let's see what happens. But when detonator came like into place, keeping in mind like that was like ETH was $3,000 or something. And but we were on the decline from that all-time high in November. And looking at that, that was the beginning like of the bear market. And so we grew tremendously in that. And I take a lot of, not satisfaction, but like just a lot of reflection about that, because it's really similar to like right now we have detonator, we have reactor. The ecosystem is more robust, the community is more robust. People know like the protocol, they understand like how it works. And does that mean everything's perfect? No, by no stretch of the imagination is anything perfect. Nothing is ever going to be perfect, but we're always working to bring new innovative things, just like Sentinel Squadron was an innovative feature of things people asked for in the community. The single staking farm, I mean, loads of people asked, can we have a single staking farm? A lot of people want a single staking EMP farm to stake and earn eShare, but this is a good compromise. Stake your eShare and earn eShare. And so when I look at like all of the pieces that are here, and the incredible like features that it provides to the ecosystem, and the big thing is confidence, because we all know that if there was a lottery in DeFi and you could claim one day, that contract would be dead the next, or very soon thereafter, because people are, like, people, I believe, want to work with other people, but the mentality in DeFi is that people are degens, and that it's I'm out for me and screw everybody else. But like I don't think that that's a way that you can build. You know, like that type of attitude, like it might seem cool, it might get you clicks on a YouTube channel, but like you can't build things like burning things to the ground and you know, and shitting on projects and saying like this isn't going to work. Like you have to work with people, and there's an agreement. You know, society works because we have a mutual agreement that we're going to act in our own interest to protect others. And so this ecosystem is no different. It just happens to have, you know, a rule that governs it, you know, that it's locked and it's bound by mathematics, where, you know, our laws aren't necessarily bound by mathematics IRL, but like in the digital space, they are, because it's a good compromise, because math and code, it's immutable, right? Like once it's there, people can see. We have the blockchain as that transparent ledger to, you know, provide us with the transparency, which creates value because we can see what's going on. You know, like blockchain wouldn't work if there weren't block explorers. Like people would be like, that's bullshit. But if we look at just a block explorer and you have the skill to look through it, you can be like, oh, okay, this person's doing this person's doing this. And a person that can do that, like, is highly skilled and can, you know, really, they don't have to rely on like guessing about what's happening. You can go on and look. And I think a lot of people tend to, did you fix your technical issue? Because I'm kind of riffing here.
No, I love
didn't
it,
know if you
Bull.
wanted to-
Yeah, no, I'm back, bro. Go ahead, but you're good. Keep going, man. Yep.
Okay. I didn't know how long I was going. So, you know, just the point is that, with unknowns, that causes, you know, like anxiety and uncertainty for people. And if there's things that can solve it, like the blockchain, like I think, like, I love to use this like expression when I'm teaching people IRL about the blockchain, that transparency creates value. And this is the example that I give. If you're a person who, you know, is doing good for, like, you know, for yourself, because you feel like you know what you need to do to be a better person, you know, be it like you shovel your neighbor's driveway who's a little old lady, right? Nobody's watching. You know, you don't think anybody is watching, but somebody is watching. Like the neighbor across the street is like, you know what, I'm not going to let him do that next time. I'm going to do it. Because I really like the idea of like building a community. And that's transparency. Like you're doing good without like thought of gain, but there is gain because all these other people are like kind of wanting to step up their game and say like, hey, I want to do that. I want to emulate really good behavior because it feels good. It's rewarding. You know, of course, it's not financially rewarding to shovel your little old neighbor's driveway, you know, unless you do it for 20 years and then she dies and leaves you in the will. But you don't set out with that in mind. And on the opposite side of that, you know, like obfuscation, when things aren't clear, like if it's opaque, it's hidden. That's why crime is hidden. People don't typically do crime out in the open because it brings negative value. And that's why it's hidden, because nobody would be proud of doing like a crime. You know, they shouldn't be, because you always have to imagine people are watching and people, you know, but crime, you know, like it hurts everyone. It hurts the person. It hurts the, you know, like everybody, like, and nobody would say, damn, like I want to be like that guy that's like beating up his wife. Like nobody's going to say that, like, cause you know what, that's shitty. You know, but the blockchain, blah, blah, blah. Let me get back to that. That creates, you know, transparency creates value. And that's one of the amazing features that it provides to us here today. Right. And with like our ecosystem, you know, we've referred to it as an ecosystem, an economy, but you know, it is like a little community, a society that like where all of this stuff is coming together, like where people are meeting one another. And yeah, we don't have like laws per se on the books, but you do, like you have a way that like the ethos of the community, the way we act, you know, that you're not like a big asshole. Like people are cool to people here. You want to help people. And, that creates a lot of value because I'm sure there's been a ton of people can go to a ton of different forums and the forum's got 50,000 members, but it's a ghost town. because nobody, there's nothing organic, there's nothing real about it. Here it's real. And for me, like, I don't mind like some discussion about like, oh, this, like, I'm feeling this way, or this is negative, like, sure, like, it's disappointing to see that, but that is a person just expressing like their emotion, and it's real. And hopefully they're doing that, like, like with the intention of like, oh man, like what can I do? What can I do to not feel like this? And the great thing about this community is like, there's so much value all over the place. If it's from the locked features of Detonator, the reward features of Detonator, the community building here, but looking at all of the pieces that here, like, we have so much like untapped potential, and the value that's kind of sitting, just waiting, hidden under the surface is like me. I really truly believe like it's going to explode like a volcano. Like, once we reach like a critical mass, like, like, it won't be able to be held back, because there is just such positive, like, like, amazing people here, just like adding value like every single day, like, little dots of value, and I know, like, it's really easy to get hung up on like peg and look at it and say, oh, like, it's dropping every day, but it's the value really that's under the surface, like that there isn't like that measure, like on the dashboard. Like, what's the community really feeling like, because I know, like, I look at it and like especially in VIP, like, these are some diamond handed mofos, and they're like, okay, like, how do we like crank down and earn harder, like, in this market? How do we stack? How do we, like, what do we do to like boost people's morale? What do we, like, everybody's like talking about strategies, like the overall market, like, how do we think this is going to turn out? What does this look like? And like, it's really amazing in there to see like just how people are like, have like amazing resolve, and like the information, like, and the, like, the emotion that they're sharing in there. And it would be incredible to have that like in the main, and it is too, like, there's a lot of amazing people in there, but to get to the end of my point is that there's just so much value here that is untapped and unrealized, that, once, like I said, once we reach the critical mass of underneath kind of the surface, I think we're just going to like, like, it's going to erupt, and like, we're just going to break out like crazy. And then like all of DeFi is going to be like, holy shit, like, what, what's that, what's that over there? I better go check that out. So
Yeah.
that's what I got.
Yeah, well, no, I love it, man, and that's an amazing segue into my next point. And we are here for the long run, and I think like a lot of people, like, and especially in crypto, you know, things move so fast that people want results now, now, now. Like the culture is so immediate, and like we're all working, fucking 24 hours a day, behind the scenes to deliver on everything we said, and like the point is that no matter how hard we work in the short term, a lot of things that we're putting in motion right now are what is going to sustain us in the long term. So even over the last 2 months, the Sentinel NFT is a great example of this. Like, that all has trail. It's a trailing indicator of the health of the protocol. Meaning, the more that we do right now, and even with like the revenue streams that we're setting up, they may not be a lot at the exact moment, but they're all scaling. And so over the next 2, 3, 4 months, a year, like all those things will come together in one amalgamation of everything that Bulls just said. Like where it will be an explosion to where not only are we able to recover peg, but we're able to maintain peg, indefinitely. And I don't say that to hype everybody up. I say that based on the actual math, of what we've been building and what we've been doing. And, I get it. It's frustrating to, see peg go down. It's frustrating to have your daily burst go down. But as long as you're here for the long run, and are able to, control these emotions, I mean, again, like look around the landscape right now. Everybody, it's a wasteland. I mean, you know, there are protocols dying left and right, major exchanges going down. Like, you know, we're not immune to that. Like, obviously, you know, the price is gonna go down. I mean, but the fact is that we still have a ton of liquidity. The protocol is still very healthy considering, and the economics of how we operate are still very, very strong. And I've said it before in other AMAs, but you know, you also have to take into account your realized and unrealized gains or profits. Meaning, you know, you may be down in terms of where you bought EMP or your LP positions, but until you actually sell those positions, it's not a realized loss. And so, again, this is a major paradigm shift for a lot of people that may not be used to crypto and investing, but you know, you don't want to lock in your losses at the bottom. And so that's another reason why we always preach again and again and again to not be over invested, because if you're relying on, you know, crypto or your investments here at EMP to, you know, survive, and you have no choice but to sell, you know, at suppressed prices, that puts you in a very difficult position. But if you're able to have diamond hands and not get, you know, emotional or upset about price impact and where we are with the overall crypto market, that allows you to accumulate in times like these. And it's a lot less stress to say to yourself, man, like, you know, I have to live off crypto and now EMP is down, or I took a loan against EMP. Like, that's something that you should never ever be doing. And so hopefully that helps. Again, I know, you know, to each their own, and everybody has a different, you know, risk tolerance in crypto. But what we've said all along is EMP is built to be the most sustainable passive income platform to ever exist, and we are still on track to do that. You know, I'd much rather have $10, you know, a day for the next, you know, 10 years than $100 right now. And again, I think that if you don't understand that, or that's not your mindset, then maybe EMP isn't for you. But you know, if that is your mindset, then you know we can all build something really great together. And so again, just a little high level overview of what we're doing and the market sentiment, and you know what we're building for the future. So, Bull or LA, anything you guys want to add to that?
You don't want me going off again.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah,
just say,
yeah.
I
Please
mean,
go
I
ahead,
was
LA.
having a conversation with these two last night in a little group chat on Telegram, and I just said to them, um, I was reading on Twitter about yet another project that, you know, all these people were tagging and complaining about, you know, possibly having rugged. And I was just saying to them, like, at this point, how anyone isn't absolutely running to EMP as a safe haven, like, I am shocked if they're not, because we are quite literally like one of, like, maybe like a few projects that I can count on one hand that, you know, I would trust my money with. But
Totally.
with this market, I just feel so lucky that uh, I found EMP when I did. But safe haven is really truly the word for EMP. I mean, we really all need to do whatever we can to get the word out there, not only because it helps all of us, but because think about all those people out there right now who literally, like, are feeling lost and don't know where to turn because the projects that they invested their hard-earned money in are either like crumbling or on really shaky ground, and they're really scared and worried and anxious right now, and they're actually just looking for something that they can truly rely on that will make them feel safe when they lay their head down at night. And we literally have the solution to that we could provide them, and it really takes nothing on our part to share that with them. So it's almost our duty to do that.
Totally. Yeah, LA. And again, I mean, that was the foundation of EMP to begin with. I mean, we wanted to start a project, you know, 10 months ago, with the original team and the Genesis whales, you know, that was different, you know, it wasn't a pump and dump. It wasn't some random made up token that you can only profit from by somebody buying it at a higher price from you. I mean, everything that we say over and over again, like this is a completely different economic model and a very sustainable economic model, especially when you know the market conditions are healthy and the community is rowing in the same direction. So and again, I mean, the testament, you know, you don't have to believe a word that I say on these AMAs as long as you look at the actual math behind what is happening. You know, math doesn't lie. It's impossible for us, you know, to manipulate the numbers and the fact of like that everything is still paying out. You know, and again, I think a lot of people get caught up on that 1, 2, 3% daily that you may be able to get in other protocols. You know, but 99% of those protocols are literally not even around anymore. And so again, back to my point of sustainability, you know, APR is zero if they rug with all your funds. So I think people just need to kind of take that to heart and be, you know, Bull said a magic word earlier, you know, greed. I think we all get caught up in greed and wanting to be able to yield the most possible from our crypto, but sometimes that puts you in a really bad position by putting your eggs in the wrong basket. And again, you know, at EMP, you know, you can not only earn but also earn with exposure to blue chip assets, both ETH and BNB. And again, with our deep liquidity pairs, you know, there's millions of dollars backing the tokens and the token price itself. So it's just not like, you know, we're relying on, you know, made up arbitrary value. Like this is actual inherent value, uh, both in the form of liquidity and in the form of demand. Because again, I mean, eShare is getting hammered right now, but as soon as we recover, like eShare has a ton of value because once we start printing again, that is the only way to get more EMP is to own eShare. And, you know, the APR on the boardroom is upwards of 1,000%. You know, and again, I think people are a lot of people are new and they've never seen the boardroom in action. But once that finally does happen, the amount of money rushing back in could be massive, massive, massive. So, all right, cool. And then one more little side note: we are again continuing to build uh, many different things in the background, but we did announce the Detonator NFT that's coming very soon. We're hoping by the end of the year. And so I just want to remind everybody that now would be a good time to start putting aside some dry powder. So I know we talked about side hustles. I know the holidays are coming up, and you know a lot of people are strapped for the extra cash. But if you're able to, you know, start allocating some fresh funds and getting ready for what we're going to be announcing, you at least have some heads up that there could be even other awesome earning opportunities, and you just need the capital to participate. So we never say to liquidate, you know, your holdings in EMP, but if you're in another protocol and maybe you know it's underperforming or there's you know uncertainty uh, in the market or in that particular protocol on the sustainability, maybe it would be a good idea to allocate more to EMP. Or, like I said, maybe just, you know, sit back and do nothing and just accumulate stables so that you can, you know, deploy your capital at the right time. So, Ella, you want to add to that or anything I missed or both?
Yeah,
Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, just we're aiming, I mean, there's no set date yet, so this is just our aim, but we're aiming to launch these in the next few weeks. And if you have other projects that are underperforming and you can put aside some dry powder, you are going to want to, because these detonator NFTs are going to be really exciting, and we're going to have, like we said last night, some package deals. because they're the kind of thing that you're gonna want more than one of. Trust me when I say this. So start putting away that dry powder now for the Detonator NFTs, because they are going to be, I can't use this expression anymore. Damn. I was going to say the bomb.com, but it just doesn't have the same flair anymore.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, no doubt. No, it's true, LA. I know we're excited for what is coming with the Detonator NFTs, and I did see one question just off the top of my head, and then we'll take some more questions as well. But the price point on the Detonator NFTs, we haven't released that info yet, but yeah, it should be roughly about the same as the Sentinel NFTs. We may tweak it a little bit, um, and it may even be a little bit more of a lower mint. So again, we don't want to over leverage. We'd much rather have a sellout. And we understand that we just did 1.5 million of a raise, so we're working on all that now as far as like the mint price and how many we're gonna actually mint. But the beautiful part is no matter how many we mint or don't mint, I mean, all the money is applied regardless. So we have a lot of cool ways that we're gonna not only you know use those NFTs to yield in the protocol, but also help with peg and everything else. So it is all the new things we roll out are always with the mindset of helping the protocol overall as well as investors. That's another thing. Like when I say helping the protocol, some people say like, well, that if you say helping the protocol is at the expense of the investors. Well, no. When I say the protocol, all of us are the protocol. Like the investors are the protocol. So whenever we say we want it to be sustainable and we do things in the best interest of the protocol, that is in the best interest of investors. So I just want to clarify that. I see a lot of people having a misconception of that. But Bull, I know you talk about it a lot. Like we are the protocol. Like I don't understand why people have a hard
Yeah.
time realizing
I, I
that. But
think
yeah, go
I
ahead.
think that's something we used to really kind of bang the drum on a lot, like in the early days. And so so to some for some reason, like I feel like like the AMAs have evolved over, and then we talk a lot about one thing, and then we don't talk about another thing, and this is something that I think kind of gets left in the cupboard, slips between the cracks, underneath the couch cushion, whatever you want to call it. Is that idea that we are all the protocol. And I know especially when new people come in, they're like, ooh, the treasury like is earning on this. Why do you want that? And because so many people have been, duped. Maybe that's not the right word, but buying into protocols and, especially in a single token ecosystem, like how if there's a single token and that's what the developers get paid in, like where do the funds come to, hire like more people or creatives or advertising budgets? Like where would that money come from? It would come from selling the token, which inevitably could, cause FUD, saying, "Oh, look, the developer wallet is selling. Oh my God!" But here, because the treasury is like a participant in the ecosystem, and like I said, a participant. Um, they're not the whole ecosystem. Everybody here collectively is the ecosystem, and because it can earn eShare and sell eShare, it doesn't hurt like the peg. And because if the treasury only had the ability to earn EMP, and they sold EMP, like what would happen to the peg? And so like ultimately, like that's why this is really such a beautiful, like just a powerful model to show people kind of the way, like like it is really hard to create that single token ecosystem with value, because like sure, everybody can do that in the bull market because everybody looks like a genius. Like, oh my God, like, you know, you guys are so brilliant. You know, this team is so brilliant, blah, blah, blah. Look at all the green candles everywhere. But you know, that's a bull market. So people don't mind when the token is appreciating and the team is selling. But like, you know, what would happen, you know, if, you know, the treasury was dumping millions of dollars, or not millions of dollars, but millions of tokens like on the market and depressing peg, like it would destroy the project. And that's why the treasury being part of, you know, a participant in the ecosystem is so beneficial for everybody here. And it's, you know, like why ETH staking, you know, like so many people on the surface said, well, why would I do that? Like, why would anybody invest in that? Well, you know, if you are the treasury and the treasury itself is the best acting ecosystem, that's just you. Like I would, you know, like, you know, I would kind of imagine it like, you know, you have a cleanup in your town, and you know, you know, people are, you know, like people are saying, well, why the hell would I want to, you know, volunteer my time to pick up garbage like around my town? Well, because I don't want to live, you know, like I don't want to live in a dump. And that's kind of how like ETH staking is like, you sacrifice some direct gains, you know, by depositing it there. But the ecosystem grows stronger. And, you know, we saw it, we saw it in action. I mean, it was a big, you know, it played a role in that big peg run because the treasury, you know, was able to just stake and earn and meet that obligation for people, just earn eShare on the farm, redeploy that within the ecosystem and earn more. And so it's a really like a symbiotic relationship, all the pieces here. And, you know, I'll point to like, I'll just muse. I'll tell everybody the meaning of life. The meaning of life is to supply life to other things by building things. So you doing a simple act like breathing supplies life to plants. That in turn, you know, supplies the energy what plants need to supply you with oxygen for life. So life is here to support life. And so like in looking at like all of the pieces here that, you know, the symbiotic relationship between other parts of the ecosystem working together to benefit one another, where, you know, you're not maybe always going to see that direct benefit, but the indirect benefit is bigger than the direct benefit. And so the treasury being the best acting whale here, because the treasury is always going to work to protect and grow the ecosystem. And so I would think that everybody would understand like growing the ecosystem by using like, you know, the treasury using its resources to grow and protect it is really in turn helping grow and protect everybody else's bag.
Yeah, totally, Bull. And I know, I mean, again, we also say like when people are like your famous saying when you know, I think that also plays into all this. Like we could we could build the most incredible ecosystem, the most sustainable economics, like everything. Like things could be absolutely perfect, but if the community doesn't rally around that, for the same reason I make a comparison a lot about blockchains, you know, you could have the most badass blockchain on the planet with zero fees and fast transactions, but if nobody is building on that blockchain, then the blockchain is worthless. So the same applies for EMP as a whole. Like, you know, if the community doesn't rally around what we're doing, they don't, you know, help us spread the word. They don't see the value in earning, even with the APRs right now, you know, you're earning more in 2 days than you would in an entire year in the traditional, you know, financial markets. And so again, there does come a point that we need, you know, all of us to rally behind the protocol to get it to where it needs to be. And all that will happen, like Bill said. I mean, that's really easy to do in a bull market. But it's really, really hard to do in a bear market. And compared to other protocols, like we've been really maintaining and really, you know, that this whole last 10 minutes of conversation is not a matter of throwing shade at other protocols. If any of your DeFi protocols are even halfway alive at the moment, then that's a testament to them. Again, and we're not here to compare ourselves. We're just here to, make sure that everybody understands really the gem that we have built here. And, I think people are so used to the unsustainable returns that it overshadows what we have and what we are going to continue to build. And again, I know, the 30 or 40 or 100 of you that listen to these AMAs every single day, you're the ones that do show up and you understand everything that we say, and it's up to us to just get more and more people involved, and it happens. I mean, Digicon is a perfect example. I know there was a new investor from Digicon, and I've seen him or her super engaged the last 3 days, and now they're really involved in the ecosystem, and we've made an emperor or empress out of that person. So it happens little by little, and if a bare minimum of just maintaining the momentum that we have, right now, while we're in the depths of a bear, we're gonna see amazing results in the next bull. So, all right, that was really all my notes for today. LA, I know we had to pick a giveaway winner, but before we get to that, was there any other questions that I missed or
There's
anything
one
else
more.
you guys want to add?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Team Kill wants to know if we've got any plans for a Splinterland generator NFT.
Yes, that's a great question, and yeah, I mean that's the beauty of the groundwork that we have laid. Like we can apply this NFT concept to any of the detonator as a service partners. So yes, I mean do we that NFT is not specifically on the roadmap at this particular moment, but after the beginning of the year, I mean we're going to be doing a lot more in terms of scaling our detonator partners. So yeah, that could
There's
definitely be
kind of
coming.
that there's kind of that beta NFT for the generator route, right? The beta version.
With what, Bull? What do you, yeah, what do you,
Oh, like that Kid Addicts made, right?
oh,
Like,
yeah, yeah, you mean the image? Yeah.
yeah, no, the Splinterlands, like, it looks like a card from Splinterlands that Kid Addicts made.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, that
okay.
could be the artwork for it. Yeah, totally. You never know.
Yeah,
So yeah,
you never
we're there you
know.
go. We're already halfway there, Bull. Yeah, I love it. So yeah, Bull's referring to an amazing Emperor inspired design that Kid Addicts did. It looks like one of the Splinterlands cards. So yeah, we'll post that in the Telegram chat for those that haven't seen it. But yeah, I mean, we obviously with the success that we've seen in the NFTs, like it would be a no-brainer to apply them to, the future detonator as a service partners and current detonator as a service partners. So, yeah, good question. Anything else, LA, that I missed?
I don't see anything else.
All right, yep, I think that was it. If any of you have a question that I haven't gotten to, please feel free to type it in the chat. And oh, this is also a great time to make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube. We are again, even yeah, they're major YouTube channels that are just deleting their entire crypto coverage, and that is another really big sign of being close to the bottom of a bear market is when all these YouTubers are capitulating and they don't want to even talk about crypto anymore. That's a really good sign that we're through a lot of the hard times. But that being said, our YouTube
Here-
channel is growing, right, LA? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, here's another really good sign. I had to redo all of our versions of our detonator as a service pitch deck today because all of our channels are growing so much that I had to redo the numbers on them. So that's a good sign. Our Telegram, our Twitter, our Discord, our YouTube, all of our numbers are up from our original version. So
I
we had
love
to
it.
we had to redo it.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, and remember, I mean, I had a meeting today again on another Detonator as a Service partner. There is a ton of interest. We just gotta, the development roadmap is absolutely, jam packed. So it's about rolling out what has the most impact for the protocol in terms of priority. But all of this is coming, and you know, the entire next year will be focused on scaling our detonator as a service, revenue streams. And again, there may be some additional tweaks to those contracts to even further sustainability. But overall, the economics of those contracts are still performing, as we intended. And 10 months in, with still very healthy LP balance. I mean, again, it will be the most sustainable ROI contract ever developed, and we're still way on track for that happening. So, and yeah, I mean, a lot of you know, shout out to Philip King. He just left a great comment and testimonial on the YouTube. I mean, a lot of you that just stick with it and really have the long-term mindset end up doing very well here at EMP, and that's with the overall crypto market going down by 80% or more. And ETH itself is almost sub 1,000, which again it's scary, but nothing that we can't overcome. So, all right, cool. All right, then yeah, do you want to do the giveaway, LA, for um the eShare pool?
For sure. Did you read the really good comment from Mail too? He said, I can say I really appreciate these AMAs. My comments are often addressed and it really makes me feel involved. It's a large part of my confidence in the protocol.
Awesome. Yeah, I missed that one. That one was up a little bit farther. So yeah, no, we're happy to do so. Again, these AMAs are what we've done. And again, not to compare ourselves yet again, but I can tell you 10 months ago, we were one of the only protocols, even to this day, of an actual protocol that does daily AMAs. I mean, again, it's a commitment not only from us, but it's a commitment to the transparency and always being available for the people that are, involved in our ecosystem. So, that was really important to us with the education first approach. So, absolutely. Yeah.
Do you know what's crazy to think about? There hasn't been an AMA every single day since the protocol started, but with all the extra ones that we've done promoting and stuff, there's on average probably been at least one every day.
Yeah, good
So
point.
that
Yeah.
means
Yeah,
that
I do
so
over
that means
exaggerate a little bit, but yeah, yeah, for sure, LA. Yeah. What does it
so
mean?
that
Yeah.
means that after 10 months now, I mean, probably you've done over 300 AMAs.
Yeah, I would say you're right. That's pretty crazy to put a number on it. And we are again with all the development that we have going on, and for the sake of good time management, and I know a lot of you know personally, I'm expecting my daughter here soon, so we may end up doing AMAs every other day, or even two times a week, at the very minimum. But we'll let you know on that as we move forward. But yeah, regardless, I mean, Bull and LA do community run AMAs in our Telegram, even if we're not on YouTube. So, to LA's point, like the amount of content and accessibility, I mean, what other protocol can you have an actual conversation, with the lead devs on a daily basis? I mean, or in the lead team members on a daily basis. To that answer, not many. So hopefully that is a testament to, us doing the right thing here. So, all right, cool. And so yeah, we're gonna give away one NFT. Again, it's picked at random from those of you that are staked in the eShare staking pool. As of right now, there is no minimum. As long as you have something in there, you will be eligible, and then we do a random number generator and pick that based on how many deposits are in that contract. So, LA, do you have the winner
I
ready, or I need to
do. I
stall a
do.
little more? All right, go ahead. Yeah,
So the winning wallet address ends in 87D88. 87D88. So I will post that in the groups.
all right.
And I think Proud Yinzer is raising his hand. Do you want to take his
Yep,
question?
yeah, yep, go ahead. Proud, go ahead. You there?
Just
Oh,
tap the
maybe
mute.
you gotta unmute. Proud Yinzer. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, sorry about that. I accidentally did it by mistake, but
Yeah, no worries, bro. Yeah.
yeah, I was just watching another YouTube video tonight. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Brandon from Drip Guide, but he did give a shout out to EMP just in the context of the detonator being Forex's next layer two, for the for drip. So it was just kind of neat how he mentioned EMP and the detonator there.
Yeah, no doubt, Proud. Yeah, we love Brandon. Again, he was involved early on. I still think he has bags in EMP. I know a lot of the big guys like Bartertown and Brandon, like they only cover drip, which that's fine. I mean, again, we love those guys, and they do give us shout outs, and give respect where or give credit where credit is due. And yeah, I mean, I'm excited for what Forex can do with the layer two, drip. Again, obviously, we'd love to license the detonator code to them directly. But if he thinks he can reverse engineer something, more power to them. Again, we are all supporters of each other here. Animal Farm, OPT, MDB, like all the DeFi protocols, Hydro Whales, like all these guys that are still even showing some form of life. And some are killing it still, but we're the ones that are gonna make it, but because we're focused on building, in the bear market. And so again, I think that a lot of people will realize that when you look around and there's only a few protocols even left. So and Elephant too, shout out to them. I know, we've always had our differences, but again, give credit where credit's due.
Yeah, well, I love you guys and love the the protocol here, and you guys are doing a great job.
Thanks, Proud. Appreciate that, brother. All right.
Thank you.
Yeah, awesome, bro. Yes, thank you, man. All right, awesome, LA. So I think that was it, right? Any other questions or anybody have their hand up that we skipped over or?
I just gotta say, if you're not on YouTube right now, you're missing out. There's like such a positive love fest vibe going on right now over there. My
I love
heart's
it.
just bursting.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm gonna have to. I have a hard time doing two things at once, so I'm gonna go back and look at all the comments again. We almost always respond to comments as well. So if there's a question that we didn't get to or something you want to say, it's always great to leave a comment on the YouTube channel. Not only to help us with engagement, but to make sure that we actually see that question and it doesn't get buried in Discord or Telegram. So yeah, much love to all you out there. And yeah, again, I think that the uglier it gets out there, the more we stick together. And again, some people may say, hopium or have it in a negative context of being permabulls, but really, I mean, I've had the most success in my life through a positive mindset, and we just gotta be positive about what's happening right now and look at it as an opportunity to accumulate. I mean, literally, millionaires will be made over the next few months because people are able to get all of these crypto assets at bargain basement prices. And I've seen it happen for two bear cycles now. And I can tell you, every bear cycle is just another opportunity to make life-changing gains and generational wealth, which is what we talked about earlier in the week. But all right, awesome. Well, thank you everybody. Bull LA, any parting words before we wrap it up? All right, I think we're good then. So, all right, everybody, thank you again for the support, and we'll be back in the next day or two with another AMA and update. So hopefully you all join us here in about 24 hours. So good night, good day. We'll see you tomorrow.